Hello everyone and welcome to the Only Stupid Answers YouTube channel. This is Only Movie Answers, where we like to review the latest movies hitting a Cineplex near you. Do they still call it a Cineplex?
Nope.
Listen, I'm trying over here, okay? Today, I am talking about the latest hit movie from Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Rampage, also based off the classic Midway video game. I think it's a classic. It was a game that was played by people that were making into a movie now. For those of you who did not play the video game and don't know anything about the movie, here's a synopsis. Primatologist Davis Okoye, a man who is the head of an anti-poaching unit, finds out his beloved albino silverback gorilla friend George has been infected with a mysterious experiment that turns him into a giant aggressive beast. It's directed by Brad Peyton, who also did San Andreas, and stars, of course, Dwayne Johnson as Davis Okoye, along with Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Malin Akerman, Joe Manganiello, and Naomie Harris. So we got to see this movie early thanks to the Stardust app and Real D 3D. We really appreciate that. Stardust has been a big supporter of this show, and seeing it with Real D was great because the 3D is fantastic. My overall thoughts on this movie are you're getting exactly what you think you're gonna get. This is a big, ridiculous, giant monster movie starring The Rock. So if that gets you super excited, you should be super excited. If you feel like that's a meh and you're not interested, you probably won't be interested in it. It is fun and big and over the top and ridiculous, but sometimes maybe a little bit too ridiculous. But we like to stay positive on this show. So I'm gonna dive into things I like first. You have to list Dwayne Johnson. He's amazing. He is a giant muscle-bound ball of charisma. He lights up the screen always. He's magnetic. He's great in these movies. He does great with the action. He does great with the one-liners, and he's easily a highlight of this movie, just like he is in pretty much every movie he's in. The other highlight is actually the co-star that everybody cares about in this movie, which is actually George. Not only does George look great, the CGI in this movie is actually really impressive, but he's also really engaging. This movie helps you really appreciate his interactions with Davis and their relationship, and you really want to see Davis be able to fix George because you like George so much. Also, the bread and butter of a movie like this is the action, and the action scenes are awesome. There's a sequence where they have to escape from a plane that's great. With a movie like this that's basically a riff on Godzilla and King Kong, you know a city's gonna get wrecked, and this one in Chicago, spoilers I guess. And all of that stuff is really exciting. And of course, if you're hiring The Rock to be in your movie, he's not just some perfunctory human lead to deal with the monsters. He's gonna be in it. He's gonna be in the thick of the action. So this is a big, fun, ridiculous action movie. And like I said, perhaps at times it's a little bit too ridiculous, maybe a little bit too over the top, in some ways cartoony. In fact, it definitely feels like a Saturday morning cartoon brought to life, which actually brings me to my one nitpick that I'd like to focus on, which is not that it's a big cartoon. That's a selling point. I love that part. However, that's kind of undercut because it is crazy violent. Like, it's shockingly violent, and it only stands out so much because everything's so light and fun most of the time that when a person slides across the camera with blood shooting out of their eye, it stands out a little bit more. Like, I feel like 10-year-old DJ would get a huge kick out of this movie and maybe also be a little bit traumatized by how aggressive some of the violence is. And also, when it comes to giant monster movies destroying the city, you want it to be pure escapist fun, and there's just little touches that actually kind of remind me of Man of Steel and That Big City Battle that make it less fun. Like, you can't help but think about the human toll that's happening, which is not lighthearted and escapist. It's actually kind of like harrowing, and I don't know if the movie needs that, especially since it is so like lizard brain energy injected over the top action. But all that said, you're getting what you're paying for. You're getting a big, bombastic, fun action adventure movie with giant monsters beating the crap out of each other while The Rock tries to survive with his rocket launcher. And once the movie gets into that, where The Rock is working with George to fight the other monsters, which we see in the trailer, that is amazing. That's everything my little child heart could ever want in a movie. If you're into that sort of thing, I highly recommend going to see it in 3D because the 3D in it is rock solid and really does add an extra dimension to the movie that makes it feel even bigger and more epic. So I always like to do fun reviews for these movies, choose a number that is not the typical 10 out of 10 or whatever. So I believe George at one point grows to be about 30 feet tall. So out of 30, let's say out of 30, I would give this maybe like a 20, which would be maybe a C+. It has some slower points that kind of like drag the movie down just a little bit, but then it kicks back into it. It's energetic, fun, that might be a little bit too violent for what I would assume its target audience is. So for me, C+, 20 out of 30, classic review. But I would like to know what your thoughts are once you see the movie. Let me know down in the comments below. Also, do not forget to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and hit the little bell icon so you can get notifications when we do more videos like this, or like our awesome awesome travel vlog that we just did for our trip in Seattle where we went to Emerald City Comic Con, which is rad and you should definitely check it out. And for more of everything Only Stupid Answers, go to onlystupidanswers.com where you can check out our latest podcast episode, see more videos like this, go to our merch store, check out our Patreon, and more. All right, that's it for me. I'm DJ Wooldridge. You can find me at DJ Talks Trash every place that matters. And you can check out my new comic book, Chaos Theory Volume 2 at chaostheorycomic.com because that Kickstarter is coming out April 30th. And I want you all there day one because there's going to be a special reward on the first day of that campaign. So stay tuned for that. All right, that's it for me. Thank you for joining me. Enjoy. Take care of your giant gorillas.